Welcome back to Weekly Build, Episode 4. Today we're going to be building a raindrop mechanism. As always, feel free to get these files on my Thangs and print them out and build along with me. So we're going to be starting off with the same box powering mechanism that we've been using for the last 3 videos. And as usual, having minimal resistance on the pivots of these components is crucial for correct functioning. So this powering box has been working pretty well for me, but there's a few things that I would like to tweak for future designs. Eventually, I'd like to create one box that works perfectly for all of my different designs, and this was the goal for this specific powering box. But since I have a few different tweaks I want to make, just aesthetics as well as sometimes the pallet fork hangs up on the balance wheel. So if I can get those fixed, I will create a new power box with the same output geometry. So the raindrop, like this raindrop, will be the same. It will be able to interface with the power box the same as it does with this one. So keep building up the power box the same as it's been before. You can see you overlay that next housing on top of the escapement wheel gear. Make sure everything fits well, there's nothing hanging up, and ensure that that bottom gray pallet fork is wiggling back and forth and isn't hung up on any divot or feature that's in the housing. Okay, now we can assemble on the last few parts. So just make sure everything functions right. You can see I had to adjust that pallet fork, but everything works well. So let's move on to the raindrop mechanism. So we have a good amount of parts, but it's relatively simple. You can see you can snap this stand-up piece into that slot. It takes a little bit of force, but just make sure to seat one side of that drafted edge into that slot, and then you can push down and it'll go. So next we're going to be working toward the shaft. You can see here. These are different cams, and the raindrops will be the follower. So this is a cam follower system, and they're keyed so that you can only put them on in a specific orientation. You have to have that thinner portion facing outwards, and they're all labeled in number order, so you can see L1, L2, L3, and L4, and just assemble them on in order. So you can kind of see that motion that the raindrop is going to be using. It's just a simple 90 degree offset in between each circle, and the circle starts at the edge of the shaft and then it extends out. They're all the same radius, just at a different center point. So now that you have it all assembled, you can snap this into place. So you can see the housing flexes a little bit. I left it thin so that you can just flex it in, and just be careful not to break anything in the process, but you can see it runs really smoothly. Make sure that it glides just like in that portion of the video. Now you can do the same snapping idea with these. Just make sure to shift it to one side and then snap it in place. You can see with this one, it needed some work. I tried the other edge And I tried the other edge, it snapped in pretty easily. So starting with an edge on those ones is really important. Next up is a pinion gear that goes in between your power box and the mechanism of the raindrop. Make sure that runs smooth. And we're almost there. You can put in these raindrop features before or after you fully assemble it onto the housing. They just float freely. That way it causes the least amount of resistance onto the power box. Now you can assemble on the last piece. This is a beveled gear and it interfaces with that pinion. So when you wind it up, you can see how it all functions. Make sure that the pallet fork is in the correct orientation. You can just flip it over and see how it runs. And I did forget one thing, as I usually forget, the clips that need to go onto this housing, and that'll show you in a second. Alright, so here you go. We can just assemble it on, simple as this. Just snap those little clips on and make sure everything holds itself in place. No glue, only friction holding it all together, and some clamping force. So if you wind it up too crazy, sometimes that raindrop can fall out a little bit. But once again, just make sure nothing hangs up and you'll be on your way. All right, happy building, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.